Hello, welcome to another unboxing video. Today we are unboxing a bunch of Lamprima Adolphinae Jewel Stag Beetles, and these are coming from two different breeding boxes, one male and two different females. I've already made this box dormancy box with some damp sphagnum moss, and I've labeled them, or I've created the labels. I just dropped one, but I've created the labels, and the labels have data on when they were put in the box, who the parents were, and when they eclosed. So that data will be there on the containers of the adults if they were to be sold, or if I were to use them in a breeding situation. So I have that information here, and I have the containers here, and we're going to kind of see what we get and put the adults in this container here. So again, I don't know if you watched any of my other videos, but what I like to do with this flake soil is I keep it for rhinos or flower beetles, because they do not need a super high quality source of flake soil. And so I usually wind up using this flake soil for them. Okay, so this one kind of dug his way out, her way out of the container. And so she, or not out of the container, but out of her pupal cell. So she was on the move in here. And let's see if I can find her. I hope I can find her. Huh. Well, I see something moving over here. So let's see what we got. It's a pretty little female. I don't know if you can see her, but she is kind of pink and green and yellow, and just really something. So I'll go ahead and drop her in. Later on, I'm going to put some damp tissue paper on top of this and let them kind of sit in there for a little while. Once they start tearing up that tissue paper, I'll know that they're active. This girl might actually already be active because she dug her way out of her pupal cell, and usually when they do that, it's kind of a sign that they're active, so she may already be active. But let me go ahead and open up some more. This side here is, these are all from the same breeding box. So I'm gonna go ahead and open those up first. And let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. This guy is kind of greenish blue. This girl is greenish blue on the bottom, and top looks kind of like a purple color. Very dark. So it's got a hint of purple, but it's kind of like black looking. Really interesting, because I haven't seen that kind of color combination too much for Lamprima Adolphinae, but she's kind of an interesting color. I haven't really experienced that color. And you know, the mom was blue, so maybe that's where that genetic strain is from. But really the colors can vary so much in these. So that's one reason why I really love Lamprima Adolphinae is because they can vary so much in their color, and you never know what you're going to get. So that's female number 2. And let's see, this should be female number 3. Let's empty her out. She is also kind of orangish, pinkish. Again, when they are just coming out, they're very uncoordinated. But hopefully you can see her beautiful kind of pinkish, orangish color, and her legs are blue. So I will go ahead and put her over here in her designated spot. Okay, come on. Yeah, you can see that her underside is kind of, gosh, it's got all sorts of colors. Seriously, it's pink, it's orange, blue, green. Really fantastic coloration. Okay, so now let's move on to this guy. I believe this is a small male. Let's take a look. Usually the males will take a little bit longer to eclose. So if he's coming out with the females, chances are he's probably on the smaller side. But let us see for sure. And in the meantime, I am getting this soil all ready for the next inhabitants of this box, this breeding box, which will probably be either flower beetles or maybe some small rhinos. Let's see, this guy's pretty. Underside is purple and blue. Top side is green, and even though he's not huge, his mandibles are actually pretty fair size. So he's actually a good looking guy here. Not big, but very, very handsome looking with the mandibles like that. So let's get him in his box. The sticker seems to have come off again, but he belongs in here. I'm gonna get his sticker on. And again, this container is really, it's really a temporary holding container until they are active. Once they're active, they'll go into their full-time container. Okay, so now that we've got those, the rest of these are coming out of a different breeding box. So this breeding box right here looks to be pretty decently full. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap on that, and then I'm gonna freeze it to get rid of any kind of pests that we don't want in there. There was kind of an outbreak of springtails, and although springtails are not harmful, they can be a bit annoying if you have, just a ton of them in your containers. So I'm going to freeze that container to take care of those guys. And sorry to those people who, I know there are a lot of people that keep springtails. So this is kind of what a breeding container, or a container for larvae, what it winds up looking like when they make their pupal chamber. This one made quite a big one for the size of the beetle. I mean, she's not big. She's probably less than half of the size of that chamber. But they make a chamber that's big enough for them to pupate in. And also, you know, it gives them enough space to kind of stretch out their wings. If they have mandibles, they'll kind of spread those out as well. So let's get her out. She's also kind of a good-looking female. She is another, her head is green, her body is kind of purple. Underside is kind of green and pink. So she is kind of a unusually colorful one in different ways. Very small, but I'm gonna go ahead and put her into the box. Try to make sure the labels don't fall off, and making sure that they're all in their properly labeled areas. I usually get rid of this this molt because I don't really need the bits and pieces of beetle larva molt in the breeding box. But I will take this used stag flake soil. And flake soil is not cheap. I don't buy it, I make it myself, so it's not terribly expensive, but it does take a while, and it's a lot of work to get a good flake soil. Okay, so this is a male. Let's see. He is, yep, he's alive. Let's get him out of there. He's probably wondering what the heck's going on. All right, so this guy, he's kind of grayish green and small minor. Head is kind of purple pink, but he's kind of a green color, and a little small, but you know, sometimes that happens. So let's get him. And usually the ones that come out earlier, like these guys, the males are going to be on the small side if they're already coming out. Usually the bigger males will take a longer time to eclose, so that may be reason why the males that are coming out now are small, because there's one container that I was looking at and the male was actually pretty fair size major, so I'm probably going to be using him as kind of my breeding male. And these other males, not sure if they are going to be sold or not, possibly, but yeah, if so, then those guys are possibly part of that group, because the other males haven't emerged yet, so I'm guessing they're going to be pretty decent size. Okay, this is another female. Underside looks kind of green with hints of pink and blue. Legs look blue. Top is another kind of purplish green. I've had quite a few with this kind of color look, so could be due to genetics. but there's quite a few that look like her. So I'm gonna pop her in here. And this is kind of what they look like right now. They just kind of dig and want to go back to sleep. But so today's unboxing: 7 Lamprima Adolphinae, 5 females, 2 males, and I have several others that are pupating and some are pre-pupae. So those will have to be dug out at some point, probably in the next couple weeks. But that's it for now. So until next time.